Each of us is born into a world that has long been running on its own rules. We are handed ready-made roles, boundaries, and values. Childhood is the time when these patterns begin to take root. But even then, a deep inner conflict begins to form. On one side, there's a desire to belong, to be accepted, to fit in. On the other, the longing to be yourself, to be unique, to be free. At first, we don't notice this. A child simply lives, plays, feels, reacts. But over time, the inner landscape becomes more complex. The ego begins to solidify. It tries to keep control over the growing stream of impulses, emotions, and desires. For the first time, a division appears: this is me. And this is something foreign, strange, unknown. Cracks begin to form between consciousness and the unconscious. Emotions that are disapproved of by adults get pushed away. Shame, fear, anger, rebellion. We become more proper, more socially adapted, but we pay the price of losing connection to our deeper self. Then comes adolescence, the great transition. Inside, a storm is brewing. Outside, the pressure to conform intensifies. Grow up, they say. But no one explains what that actually means. Is growing up about following rules? Planning for the future? Seeking stability? And where, then, is the space for the wild? The unpredictable, the spontaneous? At this moment, a figure begins to emerge inside, hard to name, but easy to feel. It's the part of us that wants to break free. To abandon all plans, to dissolve into the now. It's a pull toward freedom without limits. Inspiration without responsibility, life without duty. It's the image of the eternal youth. He shows up in our dreams. In defiance. In our refusal to settle. He whispers, you don't have to. You're special. Don't compromise. This isn't just teenage rebellion. It's a deep psychological force. Tied to creativity, intuition, and transformation. But left unchecked, it can also become a force of destruction. Many adults live under its influence. It makes decision-making hard. It creates constant restlessness. It drives us to wait for the perfect moment. Chase perfect love, perfect work. Perfect everything. But perfection is an illusion, and the chase becomes a trap. This chase often keeps people from making real commitments. They move from one project to another. One city to the next, one relationship to the next. Always seeking but never landing. Beneath the surface, it's the eternal youth who fears limitation, responsibility, and depth. And often, alongside this figure, another one lurks, more hidden, more passive. It's the image of the devouring mother. Not necessarily a literal parent, but anything that offers protection in exchange for obedience, a system, a corporation, a belief structure. It says, stay. Don't go. It's dangerous out there. This voice comforts and traps at the same time. It lulls us into passivity. It weakens our inner fire. It turns freedom into fear. This is the invisible dance inside. The pull of wild independence versus the safety of surrender. And many people remain stuck between the two, not fully living, not fully choosing. This state can last for years. It hides behind activity, new goals, new identities, new escapes. But inside, it's the same emptiness, anxiety. A sense of life not fully lived. Because there is no inner direction. Only avoidance of pain, of responsibility, of truth. But eventually, something shifts. A crisis, a loss, a sudden realization. And then the question arises, what if I stop waiting? What if I stop running? What if I stay and face my own shadow? This is the real beginning of adulthood. Not the social mask, but the inner process. It's not about killing the youth within or rejecting the mother. It's about integrating both, letting the dreamer speak, but not rule. Letting the protector hold space, but not imprison. This requires silence, honesty, reflection. It requires revisiting the past. Remembering who you were as a child. What you loved. What you feared. When you started hiding. Whose approval you chased. When you abandon your truth for love, for safety, for success. It's deep work. Sometimes painful. Often lonely. But through it, a new center is born. One that no longer depends on outer images or validation. One that knows itself. One that can carry both vision and responsibility. Freedom and form. Freedom is not rebellion. And it's not escape. True freedom is the ability to be yourself, fully. Consciously, courageously, in any context. It's the path where inner forces stop pulling you apart and begin to work together. The eternal youth no longer sabotages. He inspires. The mother no longer smothers. She supports. This path is not easy. It's not quick. But it is real. And on it, the illusions begin to fall away. You stop seeking the ideal and start living the truth. You stop asking for permission and begin taking responsibility. This is what it means to grow up, not in the eyes of the world, but in your own. It's the moment when you reclaim your inner authority. When you stop being a product of your past and start becoming a conscious creator of your life. The eternal youth inside doesn't have to die. But he does need to evolve. To find his voice within structure, to bring fire to the everyday. To dream and to do. Wholeness begins when you no longer fight your inner figures, but walk with them. Not as their servant. Not as their victim. But as their conscious partner.